Building a model 1777 French flintlock hunting musket. Part 1, Trimming. William Hovey Smith, 2020. I'm an author, and most of my books are outdoor books, but I also have one business book, Create Your Own Job Security. And what this business book advocates is that you start your own businesses anytime, any place, at any age, wherever you happen to be, when you need to raise a little money, like perhaps right now. And this book tells you exactly how to go about choosing an appropriate business for this time in your life and your education. This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman. And today we're going to talk about building a new gun. This is a model 1777 69 caliber French flintlock musket. I'm an author, and one of the characters in my book, Father of the Grooms, is going to take such a gun on a boar hunt in Sicily. And this is the gun I'm going to build for him. Right now, this is as received from Dixie Gun Works. If you've not got a kit gun from Dixie or David Pedersoli, who makes them in Italy, here's what you get. You get the gun assembled fully in the wood. So you don't have to worry about a lot of the little nitty-gritty of the inletting, which is so troublesome for most people using simple hand tools. So it's already inlet. So what you basically need to do is to finish the steel and the wood together. And we're going to be about doing that. Now let's talk about all three guns. This is an Indian gun, which is a shortened version of the British Brown Bess musket. It's 75 caliber, which was a common European caliber for flintlock muskets. The Prussian muskets, for example, and Austrian muskets were also 75 caliber. And this, as it sits, compared to this gun, is a fairly primitive design. It uses pins to retain the barrel here, here, and here, instead of the spring-loaded fastenings here, which are now almost standard on barrel bands for all military guns. This also has three nice little finger wells right here to give you indexing for your fingers as you fire it. And on this side, very uncharacteristically, a relieve spot for you to rest the cheek. Again, for better accuracy in shooting. However, this gun was not issued with a rear sight. It does have a front sight, but you do have a very large bolt head up here with a slot in it. So this, in effect, can act as your rear sight. And that's how I will certainly use it. The same is true with the Brown Bess. Now, with the Bess here, I've taken geese in the U.S. and Canada and all varieties of small game and waterfowl. So it's been around a little bit. It has also taken deer. This is a modern equivalent. This is a 12 gauge long Tom Stevens shotgun made in the Depression era in 1932. It shoots a 2 3/4 inch 12 gauge. Now this gun weighs 6.5 pounds, which is light for a 12 gauge. Fine so long as you don't exceed that 1 1/8 ounce. If you go up to a 1 1/4 or more, you're going to bust the stock. It's just too light a gun for that kind of load. This gun, on the other hand, takes up to 120 grains of powder and 1 1/4 ounce a shot. And this is what I've taken ducks, geese, and swan with. This is a more robust gun in all respects except caliber. This is 69 caliber. So it's a stronger built gun, and it's also a heavier gun. This weighs 10¼ pounds compared to Bess here, which is 8¾ pounds. In order to make a hunting gun out of this, I'm going to do several things. First off, I'm going to trim some length from it, approximately 10 inches. Then we're going to brown the barrel and also the furniture, so I don't have this shiny metal out there in the woods frightening my game. Then the regular refinishing of the stock, putting a good coat of wax on it to waterproof it as much as possible. So these are the modifications that we're going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is turn out these screws and remove the lock. I've already broken them. Now, Pedersoli sets these screws in pretty firmly. So one thing you want to make sure is that you grind a screwdriver for these thin slotted European screws. Not quite. It's in there pretty firmly. There we go. Look, that's very tight inletting, which is good. And there you have the interior lock parts. We're actually going to do a little work on the inside of this lock, but that's for a later date. I want to smooth up some of the parts that the trigger pull is not quite like I want it to be. But as you see, all of these are big, robust parts, including the springs. Yeah. These guns were meant to last, and they do. The inletting is very tight, which is excellent. That's better than I could have done and would have done or had any possibility of ever doing. So yeah, that did well. While we have the gun in this position, I'm going ahead and remove this bolt as well. Now, you'll see that the wood is standing proud over the top of the steel, and these will be sanded together. You'll also note that this bolt has this taper, and that's how you very easily tell the difference, besides the basic size of the bolt heads themselves, between these three large bolts. These barrel bands are slid forward in this direction after these components are compressed, but they may take a little driving. Yeah, they are. Use a non-marring piece of metal here and give them a little help. Okay. Now, yeah, that's free. I'm going to go ahead and remove the ramrod. And by the way, these are long components. So when you start pulling, just make sure what you grab or what you have in front or back of you. And I have all the barrel bands loosened. Now on the front one I had to use a clamp, as you see here, to retain that spring so I could drive that front barrel band off, which also contains the front sight. So now we can loosen that clamp and slide these off, hopefully. There we go. And hang on to the barrel because it's now loose. Okay. Now realizing I can't get all of this in the shot at one time. Alright, so there you have the barrel and the barrel channel and the lock inletting. Yeah, all that's very good. This dark thing here is the spring which helps retain the ramrod. So, no splits, no stains. This is a very excellent piece of plain wood, by the way. Very straight grain. Yeah, exactly what you want in a gun stock. I brought in an old wood vise, so I'm going to clamp it in the wood vise and then drive out a small pin on the underside here and here so I can remove these two pieces without splitting the wood. The thing about removing these small pins is that this stock is very delicate. All right, that came out beautifully. Let's see if we can have similar luck on this side. Yes. All right, excellent. We have both parts now. We can now start trimming and shaping and thinning the stock. We're now to the point of no return. Once I trim it, there's no putting back. Done it. One barrel trimmed. Our musket is now about a foot shorter than it was, and consequently much closer to what I wanted for a hunting gun. Now compared to my Indian gun here, it's about 2 inches shorter in barrel, and it also has a distinctively shorter length of pull from the trigger to the butt plate of almost 1.5 inches. And I may actually have to add some material back here to make it really shootable. So we're just going to have to see. I may have to reconfigure this buttstock before I'm done. but we've done really the dangerous parts of it. And so now I'm committed, and we'll do the best we can to make a genuine hunting gun out of this thing. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe, goodbye, God bless, and see you next time. David Pedersoli offers shorter versions of French muskets that were issued to dragoons, cavalry, pioneer, and artillery units, but these are seldom available in the U.S. My cutting back the barrel from 44 3/4 inches to 32 3/4 inches reduced the gun's weight by about a pound and made for a faster handling hunting gun. The next video in this series will be about refurbishing the stock and its furniture. For more information on my books, blogs, and more than 825 videos, you can go to my website, www.hoveysmith.com. For additional details on my business books, you can go to makeyourOwnJobSecurity.com. To find out more about my novel, screenplay, and movie, you can go to fatherthegrooms.net. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless. See you in the movies.